Alright, so we finishing our workbook, chapter 7. Let's do the review really fast. So the first one, right, you have, groups of pencils, bundles, right? Same amount. So there are 6 of them, there are 5 of them. We don't need to calculate pencils. This is the whole point, right? We just compare the groups. So group A to group B, right? Group A is 6, group B is 5, so you're 6 to 5. And the other way around, they tell you is 5 to 6. Fill in the blanks. The ratio of P to Q, right? So P is 4 units, Q is 3 units, and R is 7 units. So P to Q, 4 to 3. The ratio of R to P is 7 to 4. Yeah, that's it. Express each ratio in its simplest form. Over here, we divide both by 2, right? So it's going to be 3 to 8. And this one, 10 to 35 to 45, we can all divide by 5. Right? So it's 2 to 7 to 9. Okay? Alright. Next page. Fill in the blanks, right? 56, 63, how is that related? Right? What is the common factor? So what is the number over here? Well, it is 7, right? We need to multiply 9 by 7 to get 63. Alright, so this is what we do. Which number we need to get multiplied by 7, right, to get 56, right? And it is obviously 8, right? Okay, so as long as you understand the principle, I'm just going to give you answers. That's going to be 12, 3, 5, 9, 11. Very easy. Next one. It's given that the ratio of C to the total of C and D is 3 to 11. Draw models to show the ratio of C and D, right? Okay. You have a ratio of C, which is 3, and you have your ratio of total, to the total, and total is 11, right? So obviously, if C is 3 and the total is 11, then your D is 11 minus 3, right? 8. Right, this is total, 11. So your D will be 11 minus 3 will be 8. So this is what you draw. C is 3 units and D is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 units. That's the whole answer. Next problem. There were 42 boys, 28 girls in a photography club. Then 6 more girls joined the club. What was the ratio of the number of boys to the number of girls in the end? Okay. All right. So there were 28 girls. 6 more girls joined. So how many were there after that? After the 6 joined, 26 were there. 6 joined. 34 girls. Right. So there were 34 girls in the end, right? In the end. Okay, and boys are the same. Boys are the same. There are 42 boys, and the girls are 34, right? That's it. This is our ratio. Now there is a way both of them are even, right? We can simplify it simply by dividing by 2, right? And if we do that, it's gonna be 21 to 17. That's your ratio. 21 to 17. Oh, and the answer is the ratio of the number of boys to the number of girls in the end was 21 to 17. Alright, next one. Miss Lin bought 40 raisin butter and curry buns for a class party. The ratio of the number of buns, raisin buns to the number of butter buns to the number of curry buns was 7 to 5 to 8. Find the number. Okay, so you have your 3 types. You have your raisin buns, you have your butter buns, and you have your curry buns. Okay, and you have your ratio, so this is what you draw. You draw your units, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Well, okay. let it be 7, right? And then, I mean, of course, you need to be more accurate, but I just want to be fast. All right, so that's going to be a little bit longer. That's going to be your 7 units, 8 units. So 7 units, 5 units, 8 units, right? But altogether 40 buns, right? So how many total units? 7 plus 5 plus 8, it is 20 units, right? 20 units is 40, and 1 unit is 1 unit is 40 divided by 20, which is 2, right? So 8 units. They ask you the question, what is the number of curry buns, right? Sorry. And the curry buns is this one, 8 units, right? 8 units is 8 times 2, 16. So Miss Lynn bought 12, not 12, 16 curry buns. All right, 16. All right. Number 8. A piece of wire is bent to form a triangle. The sides of the triangle are in the ratio 3 to 4 to 5. The length of the longest side is 35. Find the length of the wire used to form the triangle. So you had a wire, right? And it was bent, so like kind of like this, for example, right? And it became a triangle, right? All right, you got this. As a model, right? You have your ratio of the sides, so you draw your sides. One side is 3 units, another side is 4 units, and the last side is 5 units, right? 5 units. All together, they ask us what is the length of the wire, right? So all sides all together, we don't know how long. We just know that the longest side is 35. The longest side is 35. All right? And this is what we do. So our 5 units is 35. Our 1 unit is 35 divided by 5 is 7 centimeter, right? And our total, right? So our total is 3 plus 4 plus 5 is 12. 12 units, right? 12 units is 7 times 12, 84 centimeter. That's your answer. 84 centimeter. The length of the wire used to form the triangle is 84 centimeter. Okay. All right. Next problem. The ratio of the perimeters of 2 squares is 1 to 2. The perimeter of the larger square is 16. What is the length of one side of the smaller square? Okay. Always, if you have hard time imagining, right, draw a picture, right? 2 squares you have, they have perimeters. So perimeter 1, perimeter 2, and perimeter 1 to perimeter 2 is 1 to 2, right? And 1 to 2, and the perimeter of the larger square is 16 centimeter, right? But we're not gonna write here centimeter. So how do we go from 2 to 16? We need to multiply it by 8. So if we multiply the other one by 8, it's gonna be 8, right? 8 to 16. That's it, right? So you found your smaller square. So the perimeter of smaller square is 8 centimeters, right? So all sides are the same. If you want to find one side, you divide it by 4, and it is 2 centimeters. That's what they ask us. One side of the smaller square, right? The length of one side of smaller square is 2 centimeters. Okay, last problem here, problem 10. Square A overlaps a rectangle B as shown. Okay, the ratio of the unshaded area to the total area of square A and rectangle B before the overlapping is 17 to 23. Write down the ratio of the shaded area to the total area of square A and rectangle B before the overlapping. Alright, this problem may seem tricky, but in fact, not so much. So we have our unshaded area, this white area, right? White area, unshaded area, to the total area of square and the rectangle before overlapping, right? So you need to imagine your square and your rectangle without overlapping. Okay. So its area is like 23, right? And this is 17. 17 to 23. 17 is this white. Okay, white. Or I can say unshaded. Unshaded. I'm just explaining that it is white. Unshaded to a total 23, right? Well, after you overlap, you must think of it, right? After you overlap, there's gonna be something like this. And this is the shaded area here, right? And at the same time, this is gonna be here, right? So what I'm trying to point out is that actually after overlapping, you have two of these areas, right? So if the rest of it, right, like this area, they will overlap. It's gonna the ratio, the rest is 6 to 23, right? Because the total is 23. So if unshaded white is 17, then these two it's gonna be 6 to 23, right? But because there are two of them and then they become one unshaded, we need to divide it by 3. Oh, sorry, by 2, right? Half of it, only half of it. All right. Once again, I hope you follow. First of all, you need to try to imagine your square and your rectangle separately, right? So before they were overlapped, right? They were 23, and they related to unshaded area, this white area, right? As 17 to 23, okay? 17 to 23. So the leftover area is 6, right? Because 17 plus 6 gives you 23. So the 6 was comprised by these two areas, right? Before, which when they overlap, they became 1. This is why you have to divide your 6 by 2, right? And then your shaded area becomes 3, and your total area before overlapping is the same, 23. That's the whole answer. Shaded area to the total area of square A and rectangle B before overlapping, 3 to 23. So your answer is 3 to 23. Alright, writing your math journal is important because it's all about writing, teaches you how to write properly. Write down the steps to find the missing numbers, right? So you need to kind of talk it through, right? So step number one, what do you need to do, right? 14 is related to 2, right? And you need to find these two numbers, right? So you know the mathematics, but how do we put it in words, right? Where's my pen? Step number 1, 14 and 2, right? We need to find a common factor. So we divide 14 by 2 to get the common factor 7, right? Step 2, what do we do? Now we have our common factor. We need to multiply by 3 and 5 each by the common factor. Okay, so 3 times 7 is 21, and 5 times 7 is 35. Our step 3 is complete the ratio. the ratio. Okay, 2, 3, 5 is equal to 14, and now we found out answers 21, 35. All right, that's it. This is how you write the math journal. Okay, so put on your thinking cap, a little bit kind of geometrical challenge for you. What is the ratio of the area of the unshaded parts to the area of the shaded parts in the figure 4? Express your answer as a ratio in the simplest form. Okay, so if you see the pattern, right, inside there is 1, and then there is 2 by 2, and then there's 3 by 3, right? The next one gonna be 4 by 4, and the frame of kind of shaded frame, right? So you draw it. Oh, that's gonna be so 4 by 4. That's your center. 4 by 4, white squares, right? And then you do your frame, which is like also, well, I'm sure that's gonna be prettier in your paper notebooks that I'm gonna do this, but you understand that this area is shaded, right? This area is shaded. Anyways, so you get, let me erase this thing, right? You're gonna get what? 6 by 6, right? 6 and 6, right? This is 3, this is 3. And inside is 4 by 4. Well, actually, I should have used a different color, but it's okay. All right, anyways, you calculate your unshaded parts, right? So unshaded 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 by 4, right? It is 16. 4 by 4. Those are your unshaded parts. I'm just gonna mark them like this, right? So area of unshaded parts. Unshaded parts. Wow, this is horrible handwriting. 16 squares. Okay, and our area of shaded parts. So you calculate your area of shaded, well, you just count all of them, and that's gonna be 20 squares. Okay, so then that's it. You just do your ratio. Unshaded parts to shaded parts is 16 to 20, right? And obviously you can simplify that, right? It's gonna be 4 to 5. You just divide both sides by 4, right? Okay, that's it. So 4 to 5. 4 to 5. Or alternatively, right, you can you don't need to draw anything, you just need to understand the mathematical pattern, right? So your unshaded parts, look at the picture, right? You have 1, and then you have 2 by 2, 4, and then you have 3 by 3, 9, right? 1, 2, 9, so, sorry, not 2, right, 4, and then 4 by 4 is gonna be 16, right? And then your shaded parts gonna be the same. Shaded parts, right? Follow the pattern. First look at the picture again. You calculate it's gonna be 8, right? You calculate it's gonna be 12. You calculate it's gonna be 16. So always plus 4, right? 8 plus 4, 12 plus 4, 16 plus 4, 20. This is how you got your two numbers, and then you do the same ratio, 16 to 20, and then 4 to 5. These are two ways of how you can solve this problem. All right, last problem here in this workbook, in this chapter. At a baby fair, 5 parents bought tins of milk powder. Each tin of milk powder came with a freebie. The freebie is either a freebie is something free, right? Washcloth or 2 pacifiers. The ratio of the number of tins of milk powder bought to the number of freebies was 5 to 8. How many parents each bought a tin of milk powder with a washcloth? All right, so what do we do here? We have number, where's my pen? Number of tins of milk powder, to the number of freebies, right? 5 to 8, this is what they give us, right? The ratio is 5 to 8. So if all tins of milk powder came with two pacifiers. Well, basically, if for each tin of milk powder, right, instead of one washcloth, they got two pacifiers, right? The ratio would be different. The ratio would be 5 to 10. 5 to 10. For each tin of milk powder, right, you get two pacifiers. So the ratio would be 5 to 10, but that's not our case, right? Our case is 8. So 10 units minus 8 units, we just want to know how many units were not used, right? It's 2 units. 2 units. So for each of them, right, was only one freebie. So 2 out of 5, there were five parents total, right? 2 out of 5 tins of milk came with washcloths. All right. So basically, what? Two parents each bought a tin of milk powder with a washcloth. Okay, I hope the logic is, you understand the logic, right? So just imagine it. So there are like 5 parents. Each of them get a tin of milk powder, right? And one gets a washcloth, another one gets a washcloth, and another people get two pacifiers. 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, 8 freebies. All right, so this is the illustration, but the logic is like this. All right, we're done. Congratulations with finishing workbook chapter 7, and do your homework.